Hi, Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. Welcome to Liberated Sisters, our inaugural podcast right here at Morris Media Studios, streaming live, youtube.com, Morris Media Studios. First, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his servant and messenger. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad, your host of Liberated Sisters, and we are so honored to be launching our inaugural podcast right here in Leimert Park, in our community, in an establishment. The vision of Sister Felicia, the Poetess Martyrs, is so great, so grand. And I want to say at the outset, thank you, Sister, the Poetess, for having this vision and for letting it be a place that we can come and where we can give information and news for our people. And so today, our guest is G.J. General Jeff. He's our Skid Row activist, longtime community activist here, my brother, my friend, a great source of information, but also he's really a big soldier in the struggle for freedom, justice, and equality. He's going to come and deal with the Justice Report and talk about his recent case and the outcome of his issues with the LAPD and how that has turned out. And also with us will be Dr. Jollie Harris, the food prophet of Feed God's Sheep Ministry Church. And so we're also going to have Dr. Khadijah Lang right here in studio. But right now, let's go to the Justice Report.
Thank you for having me, my sister. My name is General Jeff, and I just want to let folks know that, there was a serious issue that happened recently. It finally concluded after 2 years of a lot of investigations and court appearances where two cases were consolidated together, both involving me, where an LAPD officer alleged that I battered an officer inside of LAPD headquarters, and there was also a local black community activist named Najee Ali who also claimed that I had battered him inside of LAPD headquarters. And so in September recently, we just had a jury trial where I was found not guilty by a jury of my peers in both of the battery cases. And so, that was a huge victory for us because we were looking at possibly 5 to 10 years in the penitentiary for something that I didn't do. But then I admitted that in defending a woman's honor in regards to the Ali case, because he was verbally abusing her, I stepped in to defend her honor. And I also had to escalate my aggressive tactics to de-escalate the situation, and in me taking the witness stand and admitting that automatically subjected me to being charged with simple assault. And with simple assault, there are two forms of assault. There's aggravated assault where there's physical harm, and then there's simple assault where there's no contact. And so because of that, I was found guilty of simple assault because I admitted to taking an aggressive position. So through that, the prosecution, when I went back for sentencing on November 2nd, the prosecution said that they wanted 30 days in jail and 3 years probation. Along with, restraining orders of 100 yards on the victim, Ali, alleged victim Ali, 100 yards away from LAPD headquarters, and on and on and on and on. And I told the judge, no, we're not doing that. That's because LAPD, I was found not guilty against LAPD, and I'll be subjected to more, harassment and retaliatory efforts and tactics from LAPD. So because of that, I can't do probation, and I don't feel safe. And the judge agreed. And so therefore... This
is what I heard. Wait, I didn't hear it go down like that. I heard you said, take me to my cell and throw away the key. I heard you went shaft.
All right. But, and it's not a rewrite of history, but, I'm just laying it out there for there's a lot of listeners and viewers that don't know.
There's some levity.
And so we're just basically saying, I let the judge know, obviously in a respectable manner and respecting the court. But I was very adamant, I'm not doing probation. So, calculate that up into jail time, and I'd rather do jail. And then at the end of my sentence, my jail sentence, there's no probation on the end of that. This matter's completely over. And so then prosecution came back and tried to, push for the maximum. And the judge didn't grant them that, didn't grant the restraining orders, and sentenced me to 120 days behind bars. And so I turned myself in that very next day, and 30 hours later, I was out. So, all praises
Good.
due. But I was really actually hoping to be in there a little bit longer. Mentally, I was ready to do a whole 120 days because I want to go inside. We've got, our brothers inside.
Right.
We got allies. We got fellow activists. And then we got our lost brothers that's, really need some guidance. We need, connect with the gang bangs. We need our street soldiers. We need, so it's an opportunity to be on the inside, really interact. So I'm like, oh, this is a marvelous opportunity. And then also while I'm there as a community activist for the homeless, I'm concerned about Measure H, since the jails are run by L.A. County. Measure H just passed in March of this year where the voters passed for $3.5 billion over 10 years to be spent addressing homelessness. And a lot of that had to deal with like reentry programs for the homeless folks coming in and out of jail. And also, too, with other non-homeless folks that when they get out, they need services. And so whether it's mental health, whether it's housing.
That's right.
Just health services. And so, I was excited that I'll be going in there and kind of like an investigative reporter and really, giving the true insight and seeing firsthand and even talking to the inmates and finding out, my fellow inmates and finding out what the truth is going on, and then come back and bringing all the truth to the people on the outside, to our brothers and sisters on the streets. But again, I was only in there for 30 days on a 120-day sentence, and so obviously maybe the powers that be said we're not having this brother up in here with all that.
You sound disappointed. But look, that speaks to, brother, your activism. When I first started writing for the Final Call newspaper and hit the ground in Los Angeles, Brother General Jeff was there. There are many people who were there, Michael Zinzin, just different community activists, long-time warriors, and so just consistent from day one, the same constant person. And what I mean by that is a champion for the people, fighting for the people. And so to hear you say you'd have done that in or out, that's just a testament to what I know. That's the General Jeff I know.
Absolutely. And, by comparison, I just found out earlier today that my hip-hop brother, Meek Mill, just was found guilty of violating his probation, and now he's been sentenced to 2 to 4 years behind bars.
Wow.
Whereas if I'd have left my probation open, it's only a matter of time before I end up in handcuffs again, seeing that LAPD's been targeting me and making wild accusations and false charges for years. This is not the first time. And so, the same thing could happen to me. And so for me, I said no probation. And, maybe a lot of our brothers and sisters that go before the judge and before the courts, they need to look at that option and saying, what is the max this time all the way out with what they say no tail on the end of it is no probation, no parole, none of that. Let me do that extra time and get this thing over with. And so other than that, I have to also pay court fees, which is $220. So 30 hours and $220, and I'm done.
Wow. So are you looking over your shoulder like, okay?
None of that. None of that. Well, I'm looking over my shoulder, Brother Malcolm and Brother Martin Luther King Jr., I'm looking over my shoulder for snipers, but, we all got what you got to, outspoken voice for our community. You really have to, look out for that. But definitely I will say, my street credibility went way up on this. Not that I needed it, but, it's a lot of people that are looking at this case and some of the other people involved that, even brought charges against me and looking at them like, what kind of activist are you, or how are you loyal to our community, and where is your spirit and your energy at? Because it's not only is to bring charges. Then it's a whole other thing to, testify and take the stand and falsify, just making up wild accusations. Even, and by the way, it would happen in LAPD headquarters. There's cops and cameras all over that place. Not a single officer, testified in support of these wild accusations. There was one little old witness. The jury didn't buy that either. And then when that's over with, then to come back and testify against me again for sentencing and ask for, and demanding from the judge the maximum penalty, which obviously the judge didn't do, and wanting restraining orders. And bro, come on, man. Restraining orders, really? And we're going to be in the same place, in the same space, at the same time. So, but try to play the role of being the victim. Clearly, even on the videotape that was shown in court, while they're trying to prosecute me and point out what I'm saying, they're not pointing out what's being said or the other conversations. And all it was, I was just reacting to an individual that was verbally abusing a woman. And so, I had to apologize to the sisters that, brother's going to be a little hesitant in defending y'all if, we're going to be getting brought up on charges and looking at, years and years and possibly decades in the penitentiary. I mean, is it really really worth it, or should I just kept my mouth shut and stayed free and let that sister be, have all that stress and trauma?
Is that a question? Because I say die for the black woman on the spot. Respect and protect the black woman. We got to do it.
Indeed.
And that's not just a charge for the male. That's a charge for us in the first place. So let's just have a preventative measure so they don't even have to come out front like that. But is that a question? Because, again, I'm like, charges, that's the least for the black woman.
Absolutely.
If it's righteous.
Right. And
not for foolishness.
Right. And so that's something that they, what I call, they say it's a rhetorical question because we all know what the answer is.
I know, Brother Jim.
And if I had to do it all again, I'd do it the exact same way. So
thank you. I didn't want to gloss over that for people. This is our inaugural podcast. We're speaking to many people who don't know who we are. Well, I don't want to assume they know me and the positions that I have, but I just wanted to not gloss over that. But, brother, thank you for standing strong. First of all, for yourself. We need examples of that. Not just strong black men, black women, but just righteous. Just righteous in whatever. You're baking a cake? Be righteous. You're sharing some food. You're asking for food. Just let's have truth and righteousness in the front. And I'm speaking to Sister Charlene Muhammad first. And so that's our Liberated Sisters Justice Report for today. And now we're going to segue into our next segment, which is It's Our Time. Survive. And what do I mean by that? Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam, our leader in the Nation of Islam, has been speaking to us nonstop about our unstoppable, inevitable rise as black people. Just gloss over that for a minute. Inevitable, unstoppable. What does that mean to you? Because for me, that means it's happening. It's like childbirth. It's coming. The baby. Oh, Lord, have mercy. I'm having flashbacks. That baby is on the way. And so you might as well get it across in our minds. We might as well accept it. And this is good for us. But there are some conditions, right? And so what are those conditions? For me, one of the first things that crossed my mind was, well, you can't rise if you're not here. Like physically. We have mentally, spiritual, we know that. But we really have some things we need to do to be here, black people. We need to be here to receive this benefit. God promised us. He promised us. Undeserved suffering is redemptive. And so let's achieve that. I want to bring in to talk about how we can do that in terms of food and nutrition. This great, great food prophet, Dr. Jollie Harris III. Before I say that, I want to give you the hotline number to call in and dialogue with us. 323-293-3375. 323-293-3375. And also Mars Media Live on YouTube. So Dr. Jollie Harris, he's the author of Home Cooking to Cure Cancer. There's some more subtitles there, but Dr. Jollie is more than an author of this great book. This is our brother. This is a real warrior for freedom through food, a healer from the body. I've witnessed it myself. And whenever I have a time to talk about what's ailing black people, I call Dr. Jollie. And we're going to also have Dr. Khadijah Lang of Golden State Medical Association with us in the second break. But right now, we're going to go to Dr. Jollie. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Jollie.
Walaikum salam. Walaikum salam.
Dr. Jollie, thanks for answering the call always.
Yes. I want to say today is the day that the Lord has made. And it is a time for all of us to rise. And I'll say it like this. We got a lot of young people out there. We got to speak to the young people, too, okay? Because I want to say it in this manner. I see a lot of our young people a little bit in the dark. Mm-hmm. In the dark, meaning there's a lot of things going around our head with TV, with the Internet and everything that's going on. Yes. But we got to understand that to be here, to do your career, if your goal is to be let's say a rapper, your goal is to be a singer, your goal is to be a basketball player, to be a teacher, to be a lawyer, to be someone that controls, you say the good chain, anything that you want to do.
Yeah, to be a wife.
If you are not healthy, how can you play baseball? If you're not healthy, how can you? Example, I was helping a lady one time, and the family decided to not go further with helping her with the cancer.
Yes, sir.
And she was only 22 years old, fully blown with cancer. She had 1 month before she was finishing her degree to be a doctor.
1 month?
1 month.
22?
22. She was a young, extremely intelligent girl. So there are some people that are going to college at 18 years of age and not healthy enough to finish their college career. So we want to say that health is before everything. Health is before whatever people show you. Health is before whatever you think. Health is before whatever you read. And when you take care of your health, you know what you're doing? Honestly, you're showing praise to God.
That's right.
You're saying praise to your Lord and Savior Jesus. If it's Jesus, Yahweh, ben Yahweh, you're showing praise to Allah.
Yeah.
You're praying, just showing praise, okay?
Yes.
It doesn't matter the religion you're in, but you're showing praise, whether it's to Buddha, Nam Yoho Ringa, whatever it is, you're showing praise, okay? So we want people to know that the spirit, the most important thing is that we've been misled. We've been told that it's the mind that controls the body. It's not mind, spirit, and body. We just want to defuse all that. Take all that apart, ladies and gentlemen. Throw it out. Throw it out like nobody never said it to you.
Throw it out, General.
Also throw out that food chain that they put down for the young kids in school when I went to school, that little pyramid, on how to eat. That's never really helped anybody. Okay? So just throw out all these things that they're talking about, because it's not mind, body, and spirit. It's the Spirit of God. Like say with sister, it's the Spirit of Allah that controls you. That Spirit controls your body.
Absolutely.
And when the Spirit controls your body, you know what happens? You follow. What's the old saying that said, free your mind and your what will follow? Okay.
Free your mind.
That's right. So it's the spirit that controls the mind that controls the body. And that's what we want people to know, to align yourself first with God. You can also align yourself with the stars at praying at 3 a.m. in the morning. I teach people about how to rejuvenate the body, how to restore the body, how to heal this body.
Yes.
This beautiful body that we have, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you're 90 pounds or 990 pounds. You're beautiful to my Lord and Savior, okay?
That's right.
I said you are nothing but beautiful. So first of all, you got to know that God loves you. Look at yourself in the mirror and scream and say, God loves me. I'm a king. God loves me. I'm a queen. Because that's what we got to do, okay? I want to do a little special focus today on women with breast cancer, because there's a lot going on with cancer and nobody's telling you the truth. Everybody's giving lies. I hate to say this, but some people don't like Dr. Jollie because I speak the truth in a hardcore way, which is the reality of God. I don't speak through me. I speak through God. Yeah. I don't have any words to say you. God is doing the talking for you. When you see the clouds outside in California last year, you've seen clouds after clouds after clouds, but you have not seen the rain.
I saw 3 rainbows last week.
That's what I'm talking about. 3 rainbows, and where was the rain?
So excited.
Okay.
Go ahead, Doc.
So the bottom line is, when God brings you clouds, he brings you a scent that goes with those clouds. When you see the clouds in the air and you don't smell no scent, that's man's clouds. Those are fake clouds. They're made by chemtrails. People don't know that they make chemtrails. These little lines that you see the planes drawing in the sky.
That's
I
right.
really want women to get this correctly. Those chemtrails are loaded with aluminum and mercury. And that dust flies all through the sky. And what it does, it automatically connects together. Little tiny microscopic, particles, they collect together, these particles. They collect like a magnet, drawing itself to itself, okay? And what happens is, these particles in the air, if anybody thinks I'm lying, I say if you think I'm lying, go look at your trees outside of your house. They're dying. Go look at the bushes. Go look at your dirt. It has a layer over the top of your dirt, and it looks like dust. You know what people wouldn't believe? Wow. When you look at the rain nowadays, when it rains, guess what happens, sister?
What?
The rain flows down the street like somebody poured Tide detergent in the street. I looked at the rain with all these bubbles, all these suds. That's from the chemicals from the dirt from these clouds. All these little tiny little chemicals, sisters, they get into your eyes first. Mm-hmm. People, especially black people above 60, their eyes are turning red for no reason at all. So the chemicals come in your eyes. They go from your eyes straight into the membranes, all throughout your head, the cells of your brain. They go through your nose, your ear, nose, and throat, down to your chest. You're taking more chemicals in through your eyes than anywhere else. Wow. The skin is the largest organ on the body. So let me explain to you like this so the sisters all over the world can get this. Okay? It doesn't matter who you are, what religion, what nationality, what color. I want all women to learn this, okay? When these chemicals come into your body and you go to the hospital wants women to check every 2 years for a mammogram. I teach women in this book to stay away from mammograms. Don't do any mammograms. When you go into the hospital, I'm going to make it ABC to you. Make it real simple so no, how do you say, top surgeon talk. No top, how do you say, scientists talk. I want 3-year-olds to understand what I'm saying. Okay? I want your babies to understand this. When you go into a hospital and they turn on the machine, these tiny little chemicals or particles that are in the air that you breathe in your nose, you breathe them in your eyes, you take them in your mouth, they come in your skin while you're showing all your bare body, all this kind of stuff. These chemicals, when they come into your blood, you wouldn't believe this, sister, but they turn on a machine. The stronger the machine is in the hospital, the more it radiates your body. Let me give you in a parable. Jesus speaks in parables, and I'm going to give you this in a parable, okay?
Okay.
When 2 dogs walk down the street, one dog goes, I was here first. So the other dog, he gets mad at the other dog. His hair grows up on the back of his back. When a cat gets mad, the cat's hair sticks up immediately. The same thing with a dog. When he's upset, the hair sticks up immediately. Well, guess what? When you go to the hospital, sister, or any of these sisters out here go to the hospital, when you go to the hospital and they turn on the machine, soon as they turn on the machine, they activate and radiate these tiny little cells that are in your blood, and they open up. And exactly what they do, they contract, they come together. They start closing in on each other. And if you could take tiny little cells, little particles, and put them together, this one little particle I show you right now, that's a lump. It might be a 0.5 centimeter, but it's a new lump in your breast.
Wow.
I teach sisters that under this area, the breast line, the cup line here, there's a cup line here with an odor. I teach sisters to take apple cider vinegar, clean this line with apple cider vinegar. You can clean this. I have an oil that's called the anointed oil. You can sit in the tub with vinegar, fill up your tub with water, sit in a whole tub of apple cider vinegar, and you alkaline your body yourself. Don't let man lie to you about alkalinization with these alkaline machines and this alkaline lying water. There's no way on earth I'd give nobody, not Moses, not Noah, nobody from the old days would drink your alkaline water. You know why nobody would drink it? Mary wouldn't touch it. A guy gave me some alkaline water, sister. I spit it on the floor. You know why?
Why?
It's garbage. Man's lying to you. This water's carrying salt deposits in it. Just like this stuff from the air is carrying mercury in it and aluminum in it. And when it gets into your body, it locks you up. Now, the alkaline water leaves salt deposits on the brain, which kind of sets you up for cancer too. Any kind of dust deposits, anything man sees that grows in your body turns into any kind of knot, any kind of lump, any kind of mass, he's going to call it cancer. Sisters, please, please do not do chemo. Don't do radiation. Sisters, they offer everybody steroids. I don't care if you got a headache, if you got a toe ache. I don't care if you got an armpit ache. Whatever, they want steroids for that. No steroids, no hormones. 80% of the women that I help with cancer, they all say it began with steroids.
Really?
It all started with hormones. And when the doctor tell you he took care of your cancer, basically what he did was he loaded you up with more chemicals from this chemo. The bottom line is chemo causes new cancer cells. Ask any doctor to the face. Look them straight in the eyeballs, ladies and gentlemen. Ask the doctor, does cancer cause new cancer cells? I'm sorry, chemo. And does radiation cause new cancer cells? And when you ask the doctor the question, tell the doctor you want a yes or no answer. Tell the doctor I don't want a sentence. I don't want a paragraph. Just a yes or no. And believe it or not, doctors that are cancer doctors, they do not give their families chemo. They don't give their families radiation. They go on the internet and read and study, look for people like me. I don't mind saying this because I don't care what they say, okay? We are Feed God's Sheep Missionary Church. We are a corporation soul. Our disclaimer here, anybody can say what they want to say about Dr. Jollie, but this is not a public business that I do. Right. I work directly for God. Once again, Feed God's Sheep Missionary Church is a corporation soul. We're separate from all the other churches. We teach you the knowledge that people don't want you to know about the church, that they don't want you to know. Like example, his name is Yeshua, Y-E-S-H-U-A, not Jesus. 700 years ago, there was no J. I'll say it again. 700 years ago, sister, there was no J. My name is Jollie Harris, but there was no Jollie Harris. There was no J.
It'd be like Yali. Dr. Jollie, Dr. Yali.
Yes.
I don't want to go, pardon the interruption, but I want to just go back a little bit and make sure I'm taking care of the sisters. What do you recommend them to do? What's your alternative to chemo?
First alternative
to any of what you're saying?
For cancer. First alternative on the don'ts. I want sisters to pull away. It doesn't. When I say sisters, I'm talking white sisters, Chinese sisters, red sisters, Hindu sisters, everybody. I want you to pull away from the hot sauce and the black pepper. Immediately.
I did that.
Hot sauce and black pepper. And people go, Dr. Jollie, why do you say this? Well, guess what? 50 years ago, 100 years ago, your bloodstream could handle it. Today, your bloodstream can't handle hot sauce and black pepper.
I did that.
Hot sauce, black pepper, enormous amounts of sugar. I really, really want to especially say to all sisters, please do not give your children Cheetos. Do not give your children these little hot chips. These hot chips cause cancers in babies at a very, very young age. I want sisters to sit in a tub, fill up your tub with water, put a whole quart of apple cider vinegar in your tub. Sitting in the tub with apple cider vinegar was Cleopatra's #1 secret. So you don't have to follow me, follow Cleopatra. Okay? I got a lot of Cleopatra beauty secrets for you, but I don't know if y'all ready for them. Buttermilk in the tub was another. But right now we want you to fill up your tub with water, get as hot as you can, put in a whole quart of vinegar. Now guess what?
What?
If I was getting married to this woman or she was my wife or fiance, she'd have to sit in a full tub of apple cider vinegar.
How come?
Because back in the old days, people don't know that kings would say, bring me the youngest woman, the prettiest woman, bring her right to me. But people didn't know the king never touched that woman. The king had midwives. In some countries, let's give it you an example. The king may have the wife sit in a tub for 4 months with apple cider vinegar. And in that tub, she sits in the tub and women massage her. And when she gets out of the tub, can you imagine people just oiling you down with frankincense and myrrh for 2 hours after you've been in the tub for 8 hours? The king has a woman sit in the tub in some countries 6 months, some countries 3 months, some countries a year.
Sounds like the spa to me.
Well, when Dr. Jollie gets a woman, she's going to sit in there maybe 3 months for Dr. Jollie. The reason why the king has the woman sit in the tub, the king does not want a broke down woman. He wants his queen to rise.
All right.
Dr. Jollie, you were talking about the Liberated Sisters for a minute. You turned over to the king. Let's go
we get
back
away
to
from the king.
sisters.
Back to the sisters here.
Can I jump in?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Just really quick, very, very powerful information.
Yes, sir.
But when you mentioned, because a lot of people are coming on and falling in love, infatuation with alkaline water.
Yes, sir.
So if that's not it, what is the water source that we truly need?
Okay, I'm going to end that sentence on the king. The king wants the woman to be strong so that she can take over the kingdom.
Thank you, Dr. Jollie.
We got to know that, okay? We want her to take over. Now, back to your question on the alkaline water. Alkaline water leaves salt deposits on the brain. I'm going to make it real simple so a third grader could understand what God's alkaline is. God made citric. He made the lemon, the lime, the orange, and the grapefruit. Mm-hmm. These items, if you take any one of them and cut it in half, example, your baby, your child, if your child loves lemon, give an example, you got 4 kids, maybe children. Maybe one likes lemon. Let that child squeeze the lemon in. Maybe one likes lime. Let him squeeze the lime in his water. Maybe one of your child's like orange. Let him squeeze the orange in the water. One child likes the grapefruit. Squeeze the grapefruit in the water. God made the citric to do one thing. You ready for this? To make your body naturally alkaline. So nobody could ever, touch this system. Now, squirrels know it, animals know it, and we're supposed to be the one who have dominion over these animals. Oh, by the way, sister, I want to say that this book I wrote, Home Cooking to Cure Cancer, when I wrote this book, I had not seen the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's book, How to Eat to Live. So once I saw his book and looked at it and read it, the only thing I could think was this is an extension. The Honorable Elijah's already taught you what you need to know. This is an extension to his book. And this book helps people, I'll say it like this, on a third grade level to read. It doesn't have big words in it and things like that. But I really want the women to pull away from the sugar. The sugar and the black pepper and the hot sauce, sister, what it does, it causes tumors in the woman. I want them to know why I want them to pull away from it. It causes tumors. It causes discharge problems. It causes buildup, bacteria in the body. And number one thing it causes, the number one problem in cancer is the word is called inflammation. Period. Just flat out. Inflammation. And inflammation is where it begins to go from inflammation to candidiasis, and then your next step is cancer. Okay? So we want the women to know to close in and don't let the doctors trick you on these machines. Don't let the doctors trick you, because when you go in the hospitals, people don't know this, but nurses that work on the 4th floor, I treat a lot of nurses, sister. Nurses that work on the 4th floor and the radiation machines are on the 6th and 7th floor. The women on the 4th floor and the 3rd floor get cancer from the 4th and 5th floor, and they work in this hospital for 10 years, and they never been on the 5th and 6th floor. You understand? It radiates through the walls.
Wow.
So we got to be careful about the foods we're feeding our babies, because the baby food we're feeding our babies, we're giving our babies cancer. I want to teach women how to start making baby food. Maybe on our next show we'll give a demonstration and teach women how to make baby food, so you don't have to go to the store and buy these different things and start, how do you say, wearing out your child, okay?
Yeah, I'm with that.
Yes.
And we can do that. Let's, Dr. Jollie, tell people how they can reach you.
Yes.
And also your website. You're going to stay with us because we're going to bring in Dr. Khadijah Lang.
I'll say it real fast. You can reach us at www.feedgodssheep.com. That's FeedGodsSheep.com. You can also reach us at The Food Prophet. TheFoodProphet.com. This is the book, Home Cooking to Cure Cancer. We love you. It's all about rebuilding, restoring the body, revitalizing the body. This book also teaches you how to heal the whole entire body, not just cancer, sister. We do love you.
Thank you.
We love the Liberated Sisters.
Yeah, Dr. Jollie, we love you too. You know that.
We do love you.
Thank you.
We love the Liberated Sisters.
We're going to go to break right now. We'll be back with Dr. Khadijah Lang. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. With me, my special co-host, Brother DJ, General Jeff, and our guest, Dr. Jollie Harris III, the Food Prophet. Stay with us. Liberated Sisters, right here in Morris Media Studios Live. Welcome back to Liberated Sisters right here at MorrisMediaLive.com, streaming YouTube.com, Morris Media Live. So we're bringing in Dr. Khadijah Lang. She is president of the Golden State Medical Association. That's the California chapter of the National Medical Association of Black Doctors. Dr. Khadijah, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Sister Charlene.
You look so beautiful.
Oh, thank you, sister. All praises due to Allah, the Most High.
Thank you so much. Now, I think this is your first time in studios with Liberated Sisters.
This is my first time in studio. I have done on the air by telephone.
Yes.
This is my first time actually coming into the studio to do a program with Liberated
Wonderful,
Sisters.
wonderful.
And
Thank
it's an
you.
honor. I want to congratulate you
Alhamdulillah.
on getting this moving forward and rising.
Yes.
And may Allah bless you and push you higher, faster.
Alhamdulillah, in His name, so that we can continue doing this work. Thank you for that.
It's really important work that you're doing, and we appreciate you putting forth. It takes a lot of effort, and we appreciate you taking the time and putting in the effort and the commitment to getting the word out and allowing us to be able to be aware of what's going on with our own bodies, in our own communities,
Yes.
and giving us a way to give voice to everything that's happening around.
That's right. I received that, Dr. Khadijah, and I understand that, brothers and sisters, more clearly now. And I want to recognize that thank God for Sister Poetess. This Felicia Morris and this Jim right here, I get emotional thinking about, it's just right here.
It's right in our community.
And the time, to take advantage of it, and just to understand the powerful platform that Sister has put here for us. I just thank Allah that I'm able to see that and be here for this first show. And so what you're saying, I received that, because our people really need the information that you have. Yes. They need the information. I mean, I didn't even ask Brother General. You got that. You can come right with that healing talk too, if you really want to know. But so I think this was a perfect mix. Allah told me, I called Brother General yesterday. I said, we need Brother General. And it wasn't out of a desperation. It was just a spirit, as you said, Dr. Jollie, moving. So, yes, you're doing great work in the community for a very long time. Very long time, physical as well as other healing. So, Dr. Khadijah, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Well, I am a family medicine physician. I do full scope family medicine. That means I take care of my patients from the womb to the tomb. I do prenatal care, so I take care of the baby while it's in the womb. I do deliveries. I do well child care, sick child care. I take care of the babies to make certain that they're growing properly, reaching their appropriate developmental milestones in a timely fashion, letting parents know if something looks like it's not quite on track. We do sick care. If a child should get sick, we'll evaluate them and determine what's going on and help parents determine an appropriate treatment plan. I do adolescent care, well woman care, well man care, geriatric care. So the difference in family medicine and a generalist is that as a family physician, I've been trained to do all these things. A generalist does 1 year after they finish medical school and hang up their shingle. A family physician actually has to do a residency and study all of these different areas that they will then be covering so that they're more knowledgeable about what these other entities are that they can expect to see in different phases of life, in different areas of the body. Our bodies have many different areas. You've got your kidneys, your liver, your brain, your heart, your muscles, your different glands. There's so many different parts of the body, and different parts of the body need different information and different methods of handling. And so a full-scope family physician, such as myself, and then I have obstetrics competency, so I'm also able to do deliveries, is somebody that has actually studied how to do all of these things as opposed to just, I got a license, so I can figure it out as I fly by the seat of my pants.
Right.
And I am board certified by the American Board of Family Medicine. And I've been here. I started seeing patients in 1989. And I am still in the same location on Western and Vernon. And
Thank God.
Just trying to make certain that we have, to me, education. My parents are educators, were educators, and that's the way they raised us, was that education was the way to rise. Education was the most valuable thing that we have, and that's the thing we all have to strive and struggle to attain, and attain it to the highest level that we can, and then use it to give back to the community. So.
It's our time, survive. That's what we're saying. It's our time, survive. Would you brothers like to ask Dr. Khadijah any question? Join in this conversation, please.
Well, I just like this
dialogue.
She's speaking on the terms of the child with the babies. I just want to add that when people get pregnant, when a woman gets pregnant, people got to understand that the male sperm has a lot to do with the determination of what's going to happen with the child, and that the woman has to make sure, how do you say, that her body's prepared to carry that baby. And that goes back to that black pepper doctor I was speaking about. It tears up the placenta. You remember I said that hot sauce? It tears holes in the placenta. So how is she going to carry her baby through a full term when you wearing it out.
Well, see, brother, what I would say to that is that the first thing I try to do is, if a sister comes into my office and she is not pregnant and she is of childbearing age,
Yes.
I try to say, if you are not doing something definitive to prevent pregnancy, then let's get your body into a healthy, appropriate condition
Yes.
before you conceive.
Yes.
So when you do conceive, that life is starting out in a healthy, appropriate environment.
Yes.
Let me add, as you go on, Dr. Khadijah and Dr. Jollie, how to give birth to a God. How to Give Birth to a God, several volumes by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It deals with the mental. It deals with what we should be eating. This is in line with what our brother and sister is sharing. What should we be watching? How should we be treating our bodies so that, and that starts long before conception. Continue.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, so if you don't, you want to help your ladies know that it's important to stop doing the things that are toxifying our bodies.
Right.
It's important for sisters to know how harmful it is to be smoking cigarettes when you're planning to conceive. A lot of people say, oh, well, if I get pregnant, then I'll stop.
Yes.
But by the time a woman finds out that she is pregnant,
Yes.
and then gets that will and everything, and then confirms it, and then gets the will to move forward and say, okay, now I got to quit doing this, that, or the other, whatever it is that she's doing that she feels is unhealthy for her baby to be in that environment. She's already come along. The average woman is 6 to 8 weeks by the time she learns that she's pregnant.
Yes.
And so what that means is that a majority of your baby's organs have already gotten pretty well their foundation, their formation, prior to you even realizing that you are carrying this.
Yes.
So you've got this precious load, and you've brought it in to an unhealthy, unclean environment for its initial formation. And so this is why I try to say, if you are not doing something definitive to prevent a pregnancy, then let's prepare your body so that if you should get pregnant, that baby is coming into a nice, clean environment.
Yes.
Let's make sure we stop the things that are poisoning our systems, the things that are increasing our rates of infant mortality and maternal mortality.
And what are some more of those things as you continue?
Well, alcohol.
Okay.
Fetal alcohol syndrome causes significant problems for babies that are born.
Mm-hmm.
And if mothers don't know this, if you look around, there are all these signs in the liquor store. No one pays attention to it anymore because they see it every day.
Right.
But it tells you right up front, drinking alcohol has been found to be harmful to a baby forming in your womb.
Yeah, Doc.
So,
but that's because they got the bottle right next to the sign.
Right.
We want
That's
the
true.
bottle. The
That's
visual
true.
is real.
You're right.
We rather, I know I'm not denigrating us, our people, but really, I'm going to read that label. I'm going to get that bottle. That
Yes,
that
ma'am.
is so smooth. Go
Reading
ahead.
labels is critical.
Continue.
We should be looking at, obviously, smoke. We should be looking at taking in high sodium content food. We should not be putting all of this salt in our food. Your food naturally has sodium in it when you eat. When you pick it up from out of the ground.
Yes.
Gotta know how
There's
to mix it
already
up.
sodium in there. So when we come and add extra sodium
Come on.
and say, oh, but I need this to make my food taste good.
Yes.
Well, when people were putting a lot of salt into their food, we were in a different time period and a different type of living. Our style of living was different.
Yes.
Most people were outdoors most of the time. You had a lot of perspiration. With perspiration, your body naturally loses salt. But most of us are not sweating all day long.
Yes.
Most of us are rushing from the car to the building and turn on the air conditioner and make sure that we don't have any
That would be me.
interaction with perspiration.
Yes.
It's a natural phenomenon, but we're not perspiring much. Therefore, we're not losing a lot of sodium through our skin all day. So when we are replacing sodium in our food, but we're not losing it through our skin, we get overloaded. Mm-hmm. We have a higher rate of pregnancy-induced hypertension. This is a very dangerous condition for pregnancy.
As you asked, Brother General, pardon me. And so, when we hear stop, that's when we press the gas sometimes, or we just toss out the message.
Yes,
so maybe
yes.
we can offer as you go some transitional methods. For instance, like one of my Dr. Abdul Ali Muhammad, referred me a while ago to gray Celtic sea salt.
Yes.
I haven't seen table salt in my house in a long time. Certain types of salt.
Well, I personally am not a big fan of sea salt.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, if your body has too much sodium in it, it doesn't ask where the sodium came from.
Mm-hmm.
It just says
too much.
The cells just say, there's a higher sodium load in here. And whether it's pink salt, sea salt, or white sea salt, it's still
elephant
salt. It's like when I tell people in terms of food preparation, if you're cooking with garlic salt, or onion salt, or lemon pepper seasoning, which if you read the label, the first ingredient is salt.
Yes.
Where's the lemon?
At the end, probably right before those 20 chemicals which maybe you can't pronounce. So if you use the powder instead of the salt, just right there, you're eliminating a high portion of the sodium from your diet. And that way you learn to appreciate the flavor. And most people, if they can commit to a 3-week period of doing no salt, that means no added salt, because if you're eating, you're getting sodium. The food already has it. Yeah. But not adding any salt to your food preparations for 3 weeks, your taste buds readjust. And it no longer seems, this is yuck, I can't eat this tastes terrible. You'll start realizing that, now I can actually appreciate the flavor of my vegetables, the flavor of whatever starch I'm eating, and the actual flavors really start coming through instead of the sodium overwhelming it.
Yeah.
Folic acid is an important vitamin supplement for us to take.
Yes.
Anytime you're able to reproduce, you should be taking folic acid, just in case you surprise yourself and get pregnant.
What is that? Tell them what that is.
Folic acid is a supplement that goes into our bodies. We have it in our natural environment, but what it does is it helps to give protection to the nervous system of a developing fetus. This helps to decrease your risk of Down syndrome for your baby. It helps to decrease the risk of neurological damage to your baby. And so by a simple thing like taking this one little tablet a day can help to give your body a healthier environment and protect your baby and decrease your future baby's chances of having some devastating conditions when they're born.
Thank you. Brother General, thank you for allowing me that.
Absolutely. Thank you. Tremendous information, Dr. Lane.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. When you mentioned about the need for perspiration, I just want to know that if you could expand on the need for physical exercise. Because a part of healing, especially in this day and age, there's a lot of negative physical energy that's coming towards us as a people, with a lot of different groups and a lot of different energies. And at the end of the day, black folks need to get in shape. There's a lot of folks talking. A lot of black folks, we talking tough online. We just typing on keyboards. But if it ever came down to if we ever need to physically defend ourselves, all of a sudden we can't even take 2 steps to get out of harm's way.
We had to run a block from the tide that's coming in.
Huh? Survive.
And so there are multiple different needs of avenues and components of the need for physical exercise. So I wonder if you could speak to that for us.
Gladly. I teach medical students and residents, and they're used to doing things on computers, and I still do things on paper. And so when I'm teaching them how to write their notes and document, they always want to say, well, I wrote that for number 1. Yes, and you're going to write it again for number 2 and for number 3. And a typical adult patient will come into the office and they will have obesity, meaning their weight is higher than the recommended amount of weight for their body structure and height. They will have hypertension or elevated blood pressure. They will have diabetes or, at a minimum, glucose intolerance, and they will have hyperlipidemia or excess fats in the bloodstream. And so if you write a recommendation plan, a treatment plan for that patient, for all 4 of those things, the first thing you need to tell that patient about is which type of diet do you need to be following in order to manage this particular condition. And the second thing is you need to get exercise in on a regular basis, depending on which condition we're working. That determines how much time I'm going to recommend that you get of exercise per week, because diet and exercise are things that are really lacking in our community, but it is medically proven by scientific methods in very clearly documented studies over and over that exercise improves your blood pressure level, improves your cholesterol levels, controls your diabetes better, and helps to not minimize, but to slightly mitigate some of the health problems that come from being obese or overweight. So that one thing, exercise, is very important. If you've got diabetes or glucose intolerance, you need to be exercising every day. If you've got hypertension, you need to be exercising a minimum of 4 days a week, preferably 5 days a week. If you've got high fats, high cholesterol in your bloodstream, you should be exercising 3 to 5 times a week. So all of these medical conditions that we've got a million drugs for, the first line, if you go back and you study, the first line of treatment. When I went to medical school, we were trained that the first thing you do when a person comes in with diabetes is give them a diabetic diet. Teach them how to eat to live with this condition.
Yes.
Because I can give you all the pills in the world. If you continue eating the same types of food that contributed to you developing type 2 diabetes, I'm not talking about type 1 diabetes, but type 2 diabetes, which is also known as adult onset diabetes mellitus. This type of diabetes
break it down.
This type of diabetes is the type that we get, and going back to when I trained, we were taught that there were the F's of diabetes: female, 40 plus, fertile, fat. Okay? So that means obesity, you've had children, you're a female, and you're getting into approaching the middle ages. Yes. Nowadays, we don't consider 40 middle age anymore, but you are at least approaching them. Unfortunately, that was true when I was training. Now, I've got people coming in their early 20s, even in their late teens, that have adult onset diabetes. It used to be that if you got a teenager with diabetes, this has to be juvenile diabetes, type 1. We better get this person in, get them started on insulin, because they have a clear-cut situation going on, and that is the treatment. Nowadays, what we're getting more of in insulin is the adult onset type, and this is really driven by lifestyle. If people change and modify their lifestyle to eat a diet that does not cause their sugar levels to spike up so rapidly when they eat, and then it takes a longer time to come down, and got the exercise which allows the insulin in your body to work better, then we would not have such a high rate of diabetes.
Thank you. Dr. Khadijah, before we go toward the very end of the show, let people know how they can reach you.
I'm at GSM, as in Mary, A _ President, PRESIDENT, at AOL.com. And our office is at 4361 Southwestern Avenue, Los Angeles, 90062. And phone number is 323-292-3900.
Thank you. Brother General, how can people reach you? We have a few more minutes, but I want to get this out before I go into announcements.
I'm in the streets.
That is the truth. Hey, but Uncle Jam's Army.
All right, that too. You know, we just, again, being in the streets, being in City Hall, and we were just recognized by the LA City Council for Uncle Jam's Army Day, and as a DJ dance promoter cruise from back in the 80s. And which basically a main component that gave birth to West Coast hip hop. And so we were recognized for our contributions to West Coast hip hop by the LA City Council about a week ago. And so, so that was tremendous.
Congratulations.
But, absolutely. Yeah, just, Roger Clayton, rest in peace, our founder. And, it's a wonderful event. And, everybody's still excited about that. And so I'm also now a member of Getting Back in Hip Hop, a member of the LA Dream Team.
Right, it's in the house.
Right, so, exactly.
Good.
So, but, Facebook, General Jeff, I'm Skid Row. There it is there. Find me.
You get Tuesday morning, BLM, LAPD, all in the streets. He's not restricted. Congratulations on that. Dr. Jollie.
Yes, sister, I'd like to also let the people know that you can find me at JOLIE 7169. That's my Instagram, JOLIE 7169. On Facebook, I'm Jollie, Jolie, Jolie. I also do concerts, sister. We do concerts. The concerts I do are mainly to feed homeless people. So I do concert performing, and we take the money from that and go back and help some homeless people with that, okay?
Channels Rick James all day long. I'm telling you the truth. I want to just give out some announcements real quick, if we could. I wanted to do that before we go. And thank you all. When I'm done, we got a few minutes. We just keep going until we get the signal. Black Women for Wellness. We love them. We know them, right? Right here in Leimert Park. Black Women for Wellness is hosting the Black Women's Policy Roundtable discussion. This is specifically with Black women about the health of Black women and girls, coming right off of what we're talking about. Black women and girls in California. That's this Thursday, November 9th at 1 p.m. at LA 84. That's over near Exposition Park. Go to bwwla.org for more information. The original creator of the Me Too campaign, Tarana Burke, will be featured as a speaker at a march and rally for survivors of sexual harassment, sexual assault, and sexual abuse in Hollywood. That's Sunday, November 12th. The hashtag Me Too Survivors March. That'll start at 10 a.m. at the intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and Highland. And the key thing about this is among the speakers is our own LA's Jasmine Canick, writer and media commentator. Access plus opportunity equals equality at the California Room and Board Advisory Coalition. This is a free resource for consumers that are seeking safe, sanitary rooms and housing. So the homes are visited regularly to ensure a healthy, safe, well-managed environment that's maintained. And so visit crbac.com for more information. The number is 844-657-4748. And if you have heard this event, you know why I'm really emphasizing for people who have not to go to the website, noi.org, and take a full view. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan delivered his powerful address commemorating the 22nd anniversary of the Million Man March, Separation or Death. Separation or Death. That's at noi.org. Also, you can visit store.finalcall.com to purchase your own copy of the DVD, CD. You can get the MP3 right on your own mobile device. Also, I'm inviting you to catch my latest article in the Final Call newspaper of worldwide news for the community across the world. Staff and contributors, finalcall.com. While you're there, please subscribe to the digital edition. And always stop for the brother on the corner with the bow tie.
That's right.
Always. Thank you for those who do that.
Yes.
Shout out to the Fruit of Islam, FOI.
FOI.
Liberated Sisters is also heard on 90.7 FM, kpfk.org every second and fourth Saturdays. And soon we're going to be heard on radiojustice.org, community radio. That'll be Fridays at 8 a.m. So we're growing, right?
Yes.
And this is us.
Yes.
This is not me. This is not our great producer, Angela Birdsong, our associate producer in the booth today, our new associate producer, Akila Muhammad.
Yes.
And I just want to give a thank you again to the poetess Felicia Mars for this great platform and for Mars Media Studios welcoming Liberated Sisters to the family. Also, special guest co-host General Jeff, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Khadijah Lang, thank you. And Dr. Jollie,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Look, Angela Birdsong is launching a show, y'all. She's got a show. Angela's flying on. Angela's got a show called Conversation Peace on Radio Justice. And so we want to send you some love, Angela. Congratulations on that.
All
We're
love,
with you.
sister.
All love, sister.
Yeah, thank you, Poet. It's our engineer today. Liberated Sisters is going to be back next Tuesday right here at 10 a.m. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad saying if it's impacting our community or can uplift us as a people, let's talk about it. Peace.
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 So we're going to close out.